pit is pretty small, and so throwing the Void Prison down, anything that you can throw down, like for instance Tronda's Starfall, anything like that really messes with where people can stand and makes it more difficult for your team to be able to do stuff. So that should be really cool.
Yeah, I'm interested that we don't see hide nor hair of Lost Vikings either in the bans or picks yet, because last week we saw Lost Vikings getting banned on this map quite a bit. That could be related to the fact that no one wants to play them because they are a harder hero to manage, but they can do so much in terms of soaking. They can do so much in terms of if there's a big team fight going on at one of the temples and no one at the other, they can go snag that, but none yet. And we see instead an Azebo coming out from the Wildcats over here. We saw Nazebo not being too effective last game. We saw that there were quite a few issues that may have contributed to that, but they want to use Nazebo probably to deal damage as well as do some crowd control. So far, seeing 2 supports and a specialist out of them. What do you think, Gilly?
Well, what I like about the Nazebo pick in particular is that with Ravenous having the ability to deal so much damage to a team, just destroy a team, it forces the other team to consciously make the choice to pick somebody just for making sure that you have something to deal with Nazebo. So they have to make sure that they have something that can either stop the Ravenous or Malfurion, which Tranquility does a great job of healing through it. But as we see, Malfurion and Nazebo are on the same team. So Protectors of the Storm, they've got a couple of options. Stitches can hook and pull, but it relies on being able to get the hook down on Nazebo. Vala can also drop the Rain of Vengeance, but that requires Vala to possibly get out of position and make herself vulnerable to deal with that. So that's what I really like about the Nazebo pick, is that it's forcing your other team to kind of respond to it. They've also chosen to pick up Tychus, just another damage dealer there, and then Protectors of the Storm have gone ahead and picked their heroes, Rhaegar and Tronda.
So their dual supports coming in at the end. And again, we talk about the half supports. I would put Tronda in that category. All by herself, it's really tough for her to support a whole team. So with Rhaegar and her together, I think we'll probably see a lot of focusing on healing from Rhaegar. What do you think?
Yes, definitely. And now it seems to me that the Uther ban is a little bit more clear. I think they're hoping that Protectors of the Storm won't really be able to deal with that Nazebo. So we'll have to see if Protectors of the Storm will be able to do that. Cats Gaming picking up Diablo as their final pick, and we're going to have another Diablo.
Wow, I'm not sad about that. I really enjoy watching Diablo play, and I really love especially the choice of using Apocalypse. I think there's some really great situations for it, and there's some really bad situations for it, and I love to see those players who get just the right moment for casting that particular one.
Yes, definitely. It's going to be really fun. I think Diablo always makes games pretty fun, which also makes me happy as well. So I'm going to fix an overlay. Why don't you talk just for a second, if you don't mind?
Sure. So again, we're going into Sky Temple, and if you aren't familiar with this map, let me tell you a little bit about it. I mentioned that there's going to be a lot going on, and that's because it's a huge map. There's so many places to go and so many things to do. There are 3 temples, one at the top, one in the middle, and one in the bottom. Those temples, when you control them, will shoot these, I've been calling them arcane lasers, but just lots and lots of power at your enemy's structures. So that's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to bring their structures down. It's similar to Blackheart's Bay, if you're familiar with that one. However, on this one, those camps, when you control them, you have to fight off mercenaries, if you will, or other units in the game that are trying to just keep you from taking that temple. So if you're maintaining control of a temple, you've got to fight with them, and you've also got to fight with your enemy team to make sure that you're controlling it, which is also a channel. You've just got to stand on it and control it, kind of like the shrines in Dragonshire that we just saw. There's also a really interesting thing about the boss on this map. The mercenaries are similar to all the other maps. There's a lot of them. They're placed around. But the boss particularly is in such a spot that, unlike other maps, it's really easy to steal. There's so much space around it that you really have to be certain that either the other team is far away or they're incapable of beating you in a team fight in order to take that boss. And we saw that happen last week a couple times where the game was 100% decided by a last-minute boss steal, and the team went on to win the game. It was incredible. So I know that bothers a lot of people, but for me, I think it's a really interesting distinction to be made that not all mercenary camps are the same. Not all mercenary camps are alike on these maps, and you have to know the difference between them and the strategies for taking them all.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that as we see more in this game, we're going to get to see more different merc camps. We've kind of seen it a little bit with this, especially with the boss, but then all of the other mercs have a different look on this, different than all the other ones that kind of fit the theme of the map. So that's pretty neat. But I would like to continue to see like more completely different mercs that are map-centric.
Yeah, I think that's cool. We know that this is a different tile set that I heard we're also going to see in the Tomb of the Spider Queen. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. We're going to see it in a couple different maps. And we have that one coming soon. And we know we've got a Heaven and Hell map coming soon. And I'm really looking forward to just a really robust set of maps that you have to know just as well as you know your heroes in order to play. It kind of brings me back to my StarCraft roots, which I know you appreciate, Gilly.
Oh yeah, I definitely appreciate it. And I also think that it'll be cool to possibly see, you know, map pools as well once we get enough maps. I think the game sound is now going to be too high. Probably. Sorry. We'll get there eventually, guys, together.
Yeah, we're doing this together so far. It's been fun. We love you. You love us. Giving each other all sorts of fun hugs.
So true.
E-hugs. So but I can help with introducing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. So over here on the red team, which is the Cats Gaming or the Severely Impaired Cats in Hats of Wild Growth Gaming, whatever. We've got Vu on Tassadar, Jordo on Tychus, Jimmy on Malfurion, Kilu Zion on Diablo, and Bly the Hawk on Nazebo.
And for the blue side, Protectors of the Storm, we've got Titan Project, Coffee Rage, J-Kirps for the Horde, and Dragon Temp up in the very sneaky Rhaegar.
Ooh, sneaky.
So sneaky.
So we're seeing the teams really put a focus on the mid lane here in this map. I don't know that there's really an established meta for how people start on this map. If there is, I'm not aware of it.
There's a little bit. So the first temples that pop up always are the top and mid. So you'll typically just see one hero for each on bot. Nice hook from Coffee Rage, but not to be able to get too much done from the Nazebo zombies. You typically just have one from each here on bot, and then typically it's some sort of mix with the top and mid. Right now we're seeing a 1-3-1, which I think is fairly common. That's because the mid temple is the one temple that can take out, I believe, yes, it gives more experience than the top temple. If you notice, the placement of the wells is up at the top, which means that the temples take out the well first before towers. So the mid one actually gives more experience for the beginning.
And we did see that Zeratul starting to do a little bit of the roaming coming from that 3 mid and instead making it a 2 top really quick. I think we're going to see that a lot from Zeratul, the kind of wandering like, I'm stealthy, you don't know I'm here, I'm going to blast your face. I think we'll see that a lot, and I'm going to keep my eye on that throughout the game.
Do you know the button to make it zoom?
Z.
Oh yeah, for zoom, that makes sense. I need it for this map. This map
is a tough one.
Yeah, it's the biggest in the map pool. So big fight happening here on mid. Like I said, very big. Titan Project's getting low and needing to disengage and run away. Kilu Zion also getting somewhat low, but he's Diablo and he's got a lot more health than he looks like he has, for sure. Everyone just here trying to get this mid shrine. Like I said, it gives you the most experience. So there's a lot of fighting happening here. Coffee Rage getting thrown in is very low, but so is Kilu Zion. Stitches is the first blood to go down. Jimmy, though, soon goes after him, and we've got an even fight here once again. The red team seems to be far lower, or so it seems. The blue team's going to get the one to go away, especially after Sharonda and Vola are dropped by Diablo.
So coming out ahead in the team fight and coming out ahead in experience, we've got the Cats Gaming. Although that was an interesting temple because you noticed that both teams did get a share of the damage that came from it. If you're controlling the temple, even if the other team had it first, you just want to control it for the longest amount of time, and especially for those last few moments because you get those multiple blasts that do lots of damage there at the very, very end. So not sure who controlled it for the most time, but it looks like we have a slight lead from the Hats Gaming, and they're going to try to grab this temple up here at the top as well now that they're done.
Protection of the Storm had it slightly longer, but they also lost 4 people. So experience lead is definitely going to go to Cats for now.
They don't seem to be contesting very hard this top temple. They're kind of letting Protectors of the Storm have it so far. I wonder why they made that decision. Maybe just waiting to be in the right position, which is really smart because a lot of times teams make the mistake of kind of doing the lemmings approach to going into a team fight. If you go in one by one, you're almost always going to be out of position. And instead, it's good to group up outside of where you're trying to fight and then go in all together.
Dragon Team gets caught by the Nazebo's zombies and is taken out. That's going to be a loss of the healer, so blue team's going to have to stop. And of course, although blue team Protectors of the Storm were able to get most of the shots from that mid shrine, Cats held the top shrine the entire time, and so they definitely came out ahead in that engagement.
Yeah, Cat's definitely taking the moment to say, okay, we have a little bit of an advantage, we have lots of health, we have lots of room, let's fall back and take our mercenaries, which is very, very smart. They want to make sure that they're taking advantage of every moment they have, so looking for the best advantage they can take in the quickest amount of time. I think that was a good choice.
Yeah, definitely so. Everyone's just trying to merc. We've got a little bit of an experience advantage for Cats Gaming, but they're on the same level in talents. So not too big of a deal as we head into the next shrine. Now what you'll start to notice is that people are gravitating toward the bottom, and now we've only got one on each here up at the top. That's because the next shrine is just the bottom shrine, and you really want to have that lane pushed because the bottom shrine is the hardest to try to fight for. It's very difficult to get in. You can only get in from sort of those two bushes up top, and it makes it really easy to defend and really hard to attack into if your opponents already have teammates in the corner.
It's also really hard on this map to make sure that you're being mindful of your experience soak because the lanes are so far away from each other. So you'll see Kilu Zion still staying up here in mid, even though the rest of his team is getting ready down here to do a team fight. And you even see Taronda's still up here in the top, making sure that lane A doesn't get pushed in and B is still soaking. And because of that, you'll see that level 9 has been reached by the Protectors of the Storm, and they may be soaking up a little bit more experience, might even be willing to give up the temple for that, not sure.
You know what I've often seen is where we've got Cats here at 10 and Protectors are not quite at 10, they may just choose to push top, but I think that they'll probably decide here just to defend because not only have Cats captured the temple, but they're also pushing it. So that's double damage here on this floor. It's going to go down really fast, even with that wheel trying to heal it.
Yeah, and like you said, getting into that bottom temple is so tough. And this was very smart and very well done by the Cats because they have 3 members of their team blocking the way and causing a team fight situation, while one member of their team who can kind of solo this temple by themselves, Jime and Malfurion, is here on the temple, and no one else can really come in and contest, so he doesn't have to worry about anything other than those sandy, Egypty looking dog men. I don't know what I get temple
Excellent
guardians, I guess.
Description.
Thanks.
There.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Zeratil's gonna have to get away. Run away, friend. You can't do anything here. Oh, Diablo gets the push. Is throwing him back. Are they gonna be able to take him out? Oh, Void Prison catches everybody in that clutch Void Prison. Rhaegar heals him up. And now they've got a full-on Nazebo, and the stun from Tirana stops him. Can they take him out? They're trying so hard, but they can't. Diablo pushes them away, and once again, a clutch save by both teams.
That boss really wanting in on the fight, kind of taking a few pot shots at the teams while they were fighting each other.
Hey, let me help with this. Yeah, part of the issue there, I don't know if this is what happens, but when you flame stomp with Diablo, it hits whatever's around you. So sometimes that gets you in trouble a little bit in team fights if you're around those mercs.
Gilly wanted to let you know, I know you can't see some of this, but I guess your mic is softer than mine, so maybe make yourself louder so I'm not overpowering you. I know I have a very loud and overpowering voice.
I don't actually know. Does that turn it up or turn it down?
For me, you're fine, but you may just want to turn up in OBS.
But it doesn't...
Okay. Don't worry too much about it. We can fix it next game. It doesn't really...
I'll talk really loudly. I'll talk really loudly until the next game. Sorry about that, guys. I hope you can kind of hear me. I'll yell-ish for the next game. We've got to fight for these sieges, and both teams just kind of posturing, trying to take each other out, maybe get the person advantage here. And the mercs are still just wailing, sort of. But it seems, oh, the Ravenous Spirit drops down right in the middle of all of Protectors of the Storm. For the Horde's gotta get away. He doesn't get away. Vala goes down. Dragon Tail goes down. Titans Project trying to get away. He might be the only survivor. No, even Diablo's going to take out Zeratul, and only Tyrande lives to tell the story. And not only did Cats take out 4 members of Protectors of the Storm, but they also picked up the sieges and are going to get a free boss, probably, for their troubles.
And this is a great situation in which to take this boss, because like I said, you need to know that the other team cannot contest or steal it from you. And they know with quite some certainty that the other team doesn't have time to come steal this from them, so they go ahead and do it. I am really loving the Diablo play in this game, Gilly. I love the placement where Diablo is always out in front taking all the damage. I loved that Apocalypse. It was so well placed in that tight quarters there. And I'm thinking that's something that I'm really going to be enjoying throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, I like I said, I feel like we've seen so many people say, Diablo, not good, can't play him. It's great to finally get some awesome Diablos in who can say, no, Diablo's kit's actually great, check it out.
Yeah, and we're seeing Diablo taking advantage of the fact that this temple is available and that the Protectors of the Storm have to defend against this very strong boss that they were able to take. So their advantages are just piling on each other after that near team wipe where Tyrande was the only one who got away safely. Tyrande can't do a whole lot on her own, so that really is not who you want to survive if anyone does.
Yeah, and as you can see, guys, I told you how perilous this bottom temple is, and you saw it with Rhaegar. He just couldn't get out. He was completely trapped, and so that was really difficult. So we've got a team fight going on here, but Rhaegar is down. It's 4 versus 4. Tassadar is not there. Starfall is dropped, as is Void Prison. For the Horde, they're just trying to take out that Tychus. Maybe if they can get Tychus, they can have a person advantage, but Tassadar's about to come in and Archon over everything. And of course, Coffee Rage is stuck in a corner from Diablo. He's dropped. Zeratul goes down thanks to the Ravenous Spirit. And once again, only one person is here to tell the tale, or will they be able to save For the Horde? Diablo really is like, no, you do not get to leave. We're still hanging out.
You leave when I say you leave.
You leave when I mean, he's a bully, man. He pushes people around.
Big dragon demon bully. And now it looks like Diablo is heading back to base. Unsure why. Maybe going for those the Bruiser camp. Looks like Vala will be going for the Horde. Vala will be going for the Protectors of the Storm Bruiser camp. So both teams opting to make sure that they paint the map their color in terms of mercenaries. Although the Cats have already grabbed that siege camp on the side of Protectors of the Storm, it will respawn in about 8 seconds, so they may fall back and try to grab that as well.
Something to note about that last fight, too, Anna, is that throughout, not only did Protectors not have their healer in Rhaegar for that, although it was 4 versus 4, they didn't have their healer, but they also were down a talent level. Cats has had level 16 talents for a whole level. For the Horde, still on their level 13 talents. Level 16 talent is a huge talent advantage. It has so much potential. It gives Tychus that availability to stay alive longer with Stone Skin. Tenacious Roots makes Malfurion's roots last longer. And then, of course, Nazebo just gets scarier because that's Nazebo. So it's just, it was very difficult for them to try to get something done in a team fight there.
Do you see anything interesting in these heroics? We didn't talk much about that, but it seems like everything's fairly standard.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything interesting. We've got the Odin back instead of, look at that, Void Prison. Try to get something done, but Apocalypse gives them ability to, to try to stay safe from that. And yeah, that Ravenous Spirit dealt so much damage. So that's definitely been their play. They're going to also pick up Stitches for free for the Horde, and Dragon Temp are going to once again have to get away. And if you notice, it's just been Apocalypse, quickly followed by that Ravenous Spirit. And HeroesHype did a great job of dropping the Apocalypse as soon as the Void Prison was over. Protectors were trying to make something happen around that Void Prison, but they just weren't able to. And that's going to be game. GG is coming down, and Cats Gaming is going to move on. I believe the next round is the semifinals, isn't it, Anna?
I am not sure. I guess we'll check and we'll come back and let you guys know here in just a moment. But what a great game. Even though it was a fast game, lots of action in that one and some really great skill shown off, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Loving the Diablo play, for sure. that was super cool to see. I really love seeing synergies between heroics. So of course, seeing the Apocalypse directly followed by the Ravenous. Something to note too about that last final Apocalypse is the way it's set up is everyone was grouped there because of the Void Prison, and because they were grouped, dropping the Apocalypse means everyone kind of has to move back over each other's apocalypses to try to get away. And so even though some got away, a couple got caught by it, and that was enough for Ravenous Spirit to drop right on top of them and just take out a couple. It was really cool to see that synergy.
Yeah, very cool. I'm hoping that some people were watching that. If this team is looking to get scouted, Cats, you have done quite well, even though we may not pronounce your entire name. Very well done. And also Protector of the Storm, very well done as well. It's great teams putting up some great competition. Really enjoying it so far. And I think we will be getting into those high-end matches here soon. Really moving fast tonight, so thanks for teams for being on top of it. And thanks to viewers for hanging out with us and giving us feedback, letting us know how our levels sound and everything. Again, this is Gilly and my first time with doing the production side of things. We're amateur alongside these teams, and we really appreciate you guys helping us out and being patient with us and having fun with us. So thank you.
Thank you indeed. We hope you're having fun. I hope my mic is fixed. It seems like it was a movement issue and it just needed to be moved. It was sitting directly under me instead of, where it was supposed to be. Anyways, guys, this is the HeroesHype Amateur Series. We will be back soon with more games for you, so stay tuned.